This is a Pele Media podcast.
What's going on, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning in again to Goonies Minute. Goonies Minute is the fan podcast where we carefully explore the movie Goonies minute by minute. I'm Brady.
And this is Chris.
And today we're getting into minute 44.
Let's get into the minute.
In the previous minute, the gang discovered the corpse of one of the FBI agents in the walk-in freezer. Chunk knocked into the corpse, causing it to fall down on all of them. They dropped the corpse when they heard footsteps in the room above. At 44 minutes, we hear the Fratellis bickering at one another. We cut to Francis walking into the kitchen and eating pizza right out of the box. The gang tell Chunk to be quiet as he comments on what type of pizza it is. Meanwhile, Jake and Francis continue to gripe about the pizza and end up pulling guns on one another. As Ma Fratelli reprimands them like little children, we cut back to the Goonies in the room below. The gang all put their strength into picking up the corpse to put it back in the freezer. What they fail to realize is that they have pushed it right on top of Chunk and inadvertently locked the freezer with Chunk still inside. And thus ends minute 44 of the Goonies. Alright, so we start off minute 44 with the Fratellis having just come back. They're arriving now. The kids, they're cut off. They cannot go back the way they came in to escape. The only way they can go is this, secret door that trap door that we found underneath the fake fireplace. That is the only way that they can get out. And they look up the floor above them, and you can actually see the Fratellis walking, and there's dust falling down from the floorboards.
I really found that fascinating. That's one of the first notes I have is the creak of the wood floor and the cobwebs and the dust actually falling as they walk. And that's an amazing detail to have the actual dust fall.
Yes. Now,
that's pretty cool.
I got to ask you, have you ever seen the movie Zodiac? David Fincher's Zodiac?
We discussed that.
We've been over this already.
And I told you that I know I've seen it. But yeah. I think I only saw it once. I saw it like in the middle of the night. I liked it. But because of the situation of when I saw it, I won't remember.
I can't remember when I brought it up before this. But anyway, there's a scene where, without giving anything away, Jake Gyllenhaal, who's the lead character, gets a call from a guy who says, I've got evidence who the Zodiac is, but you got to come to my house, and I'm going to tell you. This is kind of like creepy little old man. So he goes there middle of the night, and the guy's like, look, I got the information down in the basement. Why don't you come down there? Duh. And so they go down in the basement, and then all of a sudden everything starts to look really suspicious. And Jake Gyllenhaal hears something. This guy says he lives alone. There's no one else in the house. And he hears something. He looks up, and what is the floor of the living room, the boards start to creak, like there's someone else up there waiting for him, and it's so eerie. So that always calls back this minute in the Goonies every time I see that. And you're right, with all the dust, all the cobwebs falling down, it's just neat little details.
Yeah, you hear Ma say, "Someone's been here. The door's open," and then she says something else. I can't really hear what that is after that.
Yeah,
but you switch from the Goonies downstairs to the kitchen, and it is a disgusting kitchen. And Francis comes in, he turns on the light, and he's got that pizza in his mouth, and then he's like puts it up on the shelf right there. And I was looking, you really get a good shot at this nasty kitchen. And they've done a good job with detail of making it look absolutely disgusting with the water dripping.
It's so funny that Francis he's completely oblivious to all of that. He just goes, throws the pizza up, and it's a neat little touch to show just how, oblivious this guy is to anything just disgusting or horrendous. It's just all second nature to him.
Don't you find it fascinating how the bad guys are never scared of the creepy places?
Uh-huh. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
The bad guys are never scared of the dark. They're never scared of the creepy noises.
Yeah.
Of the dirty conditions. They're always unaffected. I think that's a common theme.
I think so.
You see the cast iron pot. There's a cast iron skillet there.
Yeah.
There's also this jug which is full, and it looks like old cooking oil that had been repurposed, and it filled up, like you'd save cooking oil. I was just trying to look at all the little details in there.
Yeah. I have a friend who got in a bar fight one time a few years ago, and this guy was coming at him, and the only weapon he had, the only thing he could reach for was a slice of pizza. So he used it as a weapon, and he threw it at this dude's face, and then he took another...
Did it work?
Yeah, he kicked the dude's ass and got out of there. But he took this slice of pizza and just started slapping this dude in the face with it. I don't know why he didn't use his hand. I guess it was because it was really hot. And so he was,
okay.
But he said he grabbed a slice of pizza and just threw it at the guy's face and, took him down.
And that kind of leads in to what we're about, what's about to happen here.
That's right.
So Jake throws one of those empty jugs at Francis because he's mad about eating the pepperoni. Jake pulls, it shows you how unstable these people are. So Jake pulls a gun, Francis pulls a gun and starts throwing the pizza at the toppings at Jake, and then Jake pulls a gun. And it's like, we're going to shoot each other over pepperoni. And it's like, it just shows how crazy these people are. Where Ma Fratelli has to step in, and then you get that sense from Jake of being a second-class citizen in his own family again. This isn't the first time that has happened, where he's like, let's see, you always take his side, you like him better, and then Ma agrees and then slaps him.
Yeah. The Fratellis...
Which is sad.
Very sad. The Fratellis, particularly the sons, they really feel like characters who stepped out of a James Cagney movie or something. There's such a callback to old, almost comical villains who were probably not played that way back in the 30s and 40s, but they've always struck me as kind of stepping out of a different type of movie, especially the fact that the head of the lead antagonist in this movie is an old woman. It's a mother. Yeah, it feels that way.
There's no question about it.
And it's probably the best route they could have taken in terms of villains in this movie.
The look that Jake has when he pulls that gun, he's got the black hat, he's got the red and black kind of dark plaid coat. When he holds that gun, he looks like one of those 40s or 50s mob gangsters with the lighting they have there. That's what he kind of looks like.
And he's already got that look.
He's already
Dottie.
got the look. Yeah. And then with the hat and everything.
And Ma Fratelli's look as well. Her hat, the pearl necklace, there's no way that was not intentional,
Oh, yeah. Chunk's in that freezer with the stiff or the dead body or the non-stiff, according to you. And I was saying that I think that's completely unrealistic that he would have been stuck in the freezer with that dead body. But here's one of those situations where the unrealistic had to be done. It makes sense for this movie right now that Chunk gets stuck in the freezer with that dead body.
Right.
It's one of those where I will give it a pass of it being unrealistic to where it had to be this way.
It had to be this way because...
And I'm okay with it. I'm sure Spielberg and Don is like, man, he's okay with it. That's good.
Yeah, they're huge Goonies Minute fans.
As long as these guys are okay with it.
Yeah.
But it made sense for what was going on
at the
time.
It did. And it also, starts Chunk's own quest, his own journey. And as we've said before, we think that this might be Chunk's movie. And it's just, it's so interesting that you have four chases going on here. You've got our Goonies, Chunk and Sloth, the Fratellis, and then the parents who we don't see, but we know that they're out there trying to find their children.
Every time something needs to be done, Chunk is involved. Even though it might not by his desire, he is involved with an achievement of the next level, of what needs to happen next. Somehow, whether it be busting through the door, whether it be busting through the door of the restaurant, whether it be breaking the picture frame that has the map, whether it be what's the other one? The breaking the water jug.
The water jug, yeah.
Yeah, and so it's every time there's something with him.
Mm-hmm.
And even if it's not, even if it's not direct.
And a lot of those cases you mentioned is driving the quest. Okay, question.
Yes.
And we're probably going to come back to this later in the movie. Why did they take the two corpses, the two FBI agents, to get rid of them at separate times? We saw them take the body bag the first time and leave, and then they've got the guy who is now with Chunk in the freezer, and they're going to take him and get rid of his body.
Maybe the guy, you're
Doing
right.
two at one might have been just too difficult. I don't know.
Maybe they didn't want to put him in the same place. I don't know. So obviously they're not feeding him to Sloth. We do know that now.
We didn't see his whole body, but probably not.
I don't know. That's a good question.
Yeah, well,
maybe it's one we'll find out more as the minute goes on.
I think we'll find out more because this isn't the last we're going to see of this agent,
No,
this
not
FBI
at all.
agent. Well, you
That's
got anything
it, though,
else?
for me.
Yeah, that's it for me too. All right, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in this entire week to Goonies Minute. We want you to go out and have a great weekend. And until we reconvene here on Monday, this is Brady.
And this is Chris.
And we're here to remind you that Goonies never say die.
Goonies Minute is a fan-supported podcast. If you like the show, then leave us a review on iTunes. You can find us at GooniesMinute.com, Facebook.com/GooniesMinute, Twitter.com/GooniesMinute, and at Instagram @GooniesMinute. You can contact us at GooniesMinute@gmail.com. You've been listening to a Pele Media podcast. For premium content and exclusive podcasts, visit us at Patreon.com/Pele Media. Check us out on Facebook at Facebook.com/Pele Media and follow us on Twitter at Twitter.com/Pele Media.